Hello, good morning, welcome back to the fish locker out on the boat. Right, well, I am just heading myself out and I met these guys. They are incredible, aren't they? I don't know if you can hear them, but I can hear them squeaking. They're all up and round the boat. They're all up the front. And what they're after is they're after pilchards. This is what they're after. See these patches of pilchards? And if we're lucky, we might even get to see them. There, look. That's the dolphins there. See the bigger shapes? Fantastic, aren't they? Yeah, it is bitterly cold this morning. I mean, you can still see, this is all the ice that broke off the boat this morning. So yeah, lovely warm. Today I'm hoping to fish some live baits and some lures over some reef, and possibly, if the conditions are right, I might drift or I might anchor up on a little bit of sand and see what we can find. But yeah, I'm up early. Sun hasn't even come up yet because we've got a long way to go. Let's go. Amazing, aren't they? Let's have a quick flick over this little bit of reef on the way. It is absolutely stunning this morning. Just look at it. I can't imagine a better place to be. Dolphins and harbour porpoise all around. Flat calm. Sun's just coming up. With any luck there'll be a couple of fish as well. Perfect. I did manage to get half a dozen nice pilchards. So I've got them in a live bait tank. When we get down to the reef, what I'm heading to, I'll stick them out underneath a float. Really simple live bait rig. Keep an eye on that for me, please. And at the same time I want to fish with a lure. Now with the lures I'm going to try and fish them on the bottom because we've got a little bit of slack water still. The tide's just got down to the bottom of the ebb and it's just about to start flooding, so we've got slack water. See if I can't pick up a codling on the bottom, and then when the tide starts flooding, see if there aren't any bass or pollock around. I'm getting pecked at by a wrasse. You can tell a wrasse bite because it's like a whack, whack. It's a proper like rap. Currently drifting at half a knot. When the tide starts running, I'm expecting us to be at about 2 knots. There's a bite. See the float? See the float go down then? That is a nice pollock. A very nice pollock. Oh, it's too big to lift on the line. Whoa. Well, there's the hook hold. I didn't dare lift it on the trace, but there is a cracking pollock. What a beauty. And there's the hook. I'll talk you through this live bait rig in a second. Now, I went out foraging last night. Oh, easy tiger, easy. Went out foraging last night and I had some cracking scallops. And I'm going to take them round to Jim's and we're going to have pollock and scallops. That is a fantastic fish, isn't it? So I'll get this guy dispatched. My live bait rig's really simple. It's just a sliding float. This is a 165 gram float with a fish locker locked in lead and a hook length of, call that about 2.5 to 3 feet of 20-pound fluoro, ending in a 6/0 Cox and Roll chino. And all I did was I just hooked on one of the live pilchards. And you saw everything else, didn't you? Perfect. You find sometimes when the tide's still slack and the fish aren't taking the lures that a live bait will pull the fish out. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. Go back round and try that again. Yeah, that was a lovely pollock. And before the tide started to run. So that worked out well. We've got about another 15 minutes of slack water and the tide should start coursing through. In which case we'll move off this little piece of reef and we'll go to another one. This piece on here, it absolutely screams through when the tide starts running, which is why I've only come here really on slack water. Fish aren't easy to find at this time of year. When you find them though, they are usually better stamper fish. Them wrasse are just chewing me to pieces. I think I might have to retire this lure soon. See if I can't sneak out one more fish on this lure before I have to retire it. There's fish down there, I know there's fish down there. Keep snapping at the tail of this lure. They just won't commit. Change the lure over. Right, we'll try a little drift over this reef. I have changed my lure over to a different type, because I generally figured just go match the hatch, and you can see how they are very similar, aren't they? Yeah, there's a lot of pilchards around at the minute, so I'm going to use a lure that looks like a pilchard. Just the same as before, the tide is just starting to pick up. If you see that float go down, please let me know. It is good using a real big float like that. They're not put off by it. We're fishing in 24 metres of water. Oh, I had one on straight away. That must have picked it up on the drop. As soon as it hit the bottom, it was a fish on. They're striking at it. Some days they're jumping in the boat. Other days like today they just don't seem to want the hook. Feel them snapping at it, and I can see them on the sounder as well, just can't seem to get them on. This feels more like a big wrasse. I hope he hasn't smashed up my lure. Oh, what a stunner he is. It is a really big wrasse. Look at how colourful he is. I'm gonna have to spin the boat around for that. Look at the colours on that. Look at the colours on that there. What an absolutely stunning looking fish. They are just incredible, aren't they? The colours underneath there. Just belongs in an aquarium from some tropical reef, doesn't it? The size of his get rubber lips as well. The size of these lips. And thankfully, he hasn't smashed my lure too much. I'm going to get a photo of him because he's absolutely beautiful. That really is a special wrasse, that. I've had it recovering in a live bait tank. Just one last look at it. The colours under there. It is just incredible, isn't it? Good lad. It's the beauty of having one of those live bait tanks. Sometimes when you bring a fish up and it's knackered and it's, you know, it's played out, stick it in there with a bit of fresh oxygenated water in it, perks right up, drop it straight back. In fact, you see it going straight back down on the sounder there. Yeah, that was a lovely wrasse. And thankfully, only minimal damage to the lure. Because I tell you what, they eat these like Haribo. Been very, very picky today. Just not having it. One of them things in it. No matter how much you think you understand it, or that you see what's going on and you think, all right, well, yeah, I know what to do here. We haven't got a clue. There's obviously something going on in the water, or something going on with the temperature or the pressure, or something that we can't comprehend. Let's change something. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch to a different lure. Switch to a lure with a rattle in it. See if that can't spur them on. Yeah, look. I've been hitting it because they're deforming it. They're messing it up. There's a fish. Oh, no way. 27 metres of water. Another absolute donkey of a ballan wrasse. No way. He's absolutely devoured that crazy eel as well. Oof. Oof. Look at it, that back. But yeah, there it is. Back you go, lad. No messing about. Ah, I wasn't expecting it to be one of them. Was hoping for a codling. Hoping. As if I managed to get one of them in that depth of water. Try one more drift and then we might say about putting the anchor down. We'll say because this wind's picking up. Yeah, that wind picking up does cause problems. Got wind against tide now. So the boat's blowing that way and the lures are going that way. Quite a decent run of tide as well. While I wait for the tide to calm down, all I've done is I've took myself.
Yeah, he says out with the wind. I'm sorry, but the wind noise here was just too much for the audio. What I was doing was I was fishing at anchor onto an area of sand. I was using some of the pilchards that I'd caught earlier as bait on down tide, locked in lead rigs.
Now pilchards, they aren't overly tough. They do die. Even in the live bait tank, they do. I don't know if they stress each other out or what. But yeah, anyway, they've expired. I have one left on a float out there, and the ones that aren't, I've filleted them off, and I'm using them as bait now. We'll just see if we can't pick some up. Small-eyed ray, blonde ray, probably dogfish. But you don't know if you don't try, do you? Something's playing with it, but it's probably a dogfish. Give it a couple more minutes to be able to develop a bite. That's that's one of the hardest things to learn about fishing. I was terrible for it. Youngsters who are starting to fishing are always the worst for it. As soon as you see a bite like that, you want to get hold of it and you wind it in. You've got to learn to give it give it a little bit of time, give it a chance. So letting a bite develop is a fish. They haven't got any hands. They'll investigate with their nose, with their mouth, with their. The first little bite that you see could be just finding the bait and just nosing it around. You need to wait for it to properly get it in its mouth and then move off. Just what I suspected. And he spat the hook right next to the boat. I don't mind them. Don't mind dogfish when they do that. Yeah. I said we'd probably find some dogfish. You can see that that's all it is. Just little strips of the pilchard. I'm going to say it. Session won't be complete without a doggy. Gorgeous little juvenile small-eyed ray. Easy tiger, easy. See there the bait just in the corner of its mouth? A little female. Now, you do need to be careful when taking the hooks out of these. Because a bigger one did nip my finger a while back, and I tell you what, I regretted it once it had done it. It properly tore my finger up. Just got a little bit too cocky with it, a little bit complacent. Yeah. Lovely little female small-eyed ray. Also called a painted ray. Messing about. Just cycling the baits out. I haven't got many baits left. I only had a couple. I only had a couple of pilchards and I'm just running baits like this. The only problem is pilchard is incredibly soft. So the crabs and the prawns and everything like that, all the little stuff's just pecking it to pieces instantly. But this bait started off up there and now it's down here. So I think someone's picked it up. Little snotty doggy. One of the problems about fishing a little shallow spot like this as well is if I chuck a doggy back, chances are it's going to swim straight down onto one of the other baits. You just can't win. They are notorious for doing this. It's just spewed up all over the side of the boat. That feels like a slightly better one. Not a monster, but it's better. Look at that. Yep, it's not a monster, but they're getting bigger. This one's a little male. You can see by the little claspers. Yep. Right, easy tiger. Down he goes. Alright, wind's picking up now. You can see we're slopping about all over the place. The wind's picking up, the bait's running out, and the dogfish are moving in. I think that's a signal to go. If I catch anything else, I'll put it in. If I don't, then I won't. I hope you've enjoyed joining me. All the very best. See you later.